Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody had a good day. I had a good day, even though I haven't been feeling the greatest. That's for damn sure. Still fighting a infection. Not feeling the greatest. Still messing with my ear, my equilibrium, my balance, vertigo. I could go on and on and on. Haven't been feeling the greatest, but I've been trying my best to push through it. But had a good day. I shouldn't say I had a great day. I had a good day though. Went into work and they had a 10-year celebration at what we call our Miracles Clubhouse, which is a clubhouse for those that suffer with mental health, specifically for people that suffer with mental health. And we had our little 10-year anniversary, which was really awesome. Had a lot of public officials here in Dayton there. It was really nice. It's really nice to see the growth. This is a clubhouse that I frequently visit a lot, not only myself, but with other peers. And it's really cool. Um, there are miracle clubhouses worldwide. So if y'all don't know what a miracle clubhouse is, Google it. It's going to come up under Goodwill. Easter Seals or Goodwill Company has an affiliate part of them. And they're worldwide. And just in the state of Ohio alone, I think right now there's only maybe three or four. But the plans by this time next year, I think were like triple that size. So like they're building and expanding. So it's really cool. It's just a really awesome, safe place for those that struggle with mental health, like myself, to go and hang out and learn. Tonight, I've got Addie backstage. She is with us tonight. We're going to talk about amends and keeping it simple. It's today's Narcotics Anonymous JFT reading. If you guys haven't read it, just jump on your phone while you're listening. You can Google JFT. That's simple. It'll pop up today's daily reading. I'm going to share it. If you guys want to comment while Addie and I are talking about it, we'll try to reply. I'm going to bring her on screen and I'm going to bring the reading on screen with her and read it. And we want to hear from you guys. What are you doing about making amends? Are you making amends? I'm going to unmute her. Otherwise, you guys ain't going to be able to hear. There she is. Hey, Addie.
Hello. We're going to
Say
get
hi.
dive bombed here in a second. Piper's on the table.
Oh, that's okay. We've got cats, guys. So you're going to randomly see cats, especially on Addie's side. I'm locked in a room right now in another part of the house. So you might see a tail, or two or three. Um,
No, she's settled right now.
right.
She's laying on my speaker and on the lamp. So
Exactly. Welcome, Tanya. I see a few of you guys popping in. I'm glad you guys are in here participating in your recovery. I got my little. I forget when I use this streaming that I've got all these extra features and bells and whistles. I can't even talk tonight. But yeah, I'm gonna bring the reading up. That's what's important. That's what we're here for. We're gonna talk about amends and keeping it simple and not overthinking things. Boy, do I like to do that. All right, friends and amends. Keeping it simple. I am going to stare to my left because even on screen, that is too small for my old eyes to see. It says, we made direct amends to such people whenever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others, injure or harm them. It says, in every relationship, this is step 9, guys. And it's step 9 in any 12-step program you work. I don't care which one you work, it's step 9, period. Says in every relationship we don't always handle things the way we would have hoped, but friends don't have to end when we make mistakes. Instead, we can apologize, we can make amends. It's not the end all be all when we make a mistake. It says if we sincerely are willing to accept the responsibility involved in friendships and make the amends that we owe, those friends can become stronger and richer than ever. You know, I like the little saying, don't be a dick, apologize, be honest, many times have you guys had somebody tell you that? Don't be a dick, Joe. A lot. Trust me.
I say that a
Because
lot.
yeah, Addie tells me that all the time. Don't quit being a dick, Joe. Especially when we go to bed at night and I'm beating her ass with a pillow. Making amends. It's simple, guys. It really, really is simple. It says we approach the person we have harmed and say, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Sometimes we avoid getting to the point. That's me. I procrastinate. Said evading admission to our own part of the affair. But that just frustrates the intent of the 9 steps. The ninth step says to make effective amends, we have to keep it simple. Don't overthink it. We admit our part and we leave it at that. We move on. Says there will be times when our friends, they're not going to accept our amends. Perhaps they need time to process what we've done, what's happened, depending on how bad it was. Says in that case, we must give them time. Says after all, we are the ones that were wrong. We're the ones that screwed up, not them. We got to let them be where they're at and be okay with that. Says we've done our part. The rest is out of our hands. Says just for today, I want to be a responsible friend. I want to strive to keep it simple. Keep it simple when amends or when making amends and not overthinking it. Let me pop this one back off here. There's Addie again. We can see her. So what's your spin on this, Addie? I'll let you go first because you know me. I like to share and steal thunder while I'm sharing. So I know
Oh,
I
I
said a
know.
lot of
Well,
things that you
you like
probably
to
are.
wait and see.
I
You
can't.
need time to like process things.
I'm impatient. I can't help it.
Um, well, I've worked my steps and I've done a step 9 and I've made amends. And you dread it for a long time and then after you do it, it's not as bad as you think it's going to be. And then once it's over, you're grateful. I was. Um, my sponsor told me, this is not quite on topic, but I'm going to share with it anyway. My sponsor said that you put things into 3 categories, like 3 amends categories: the easy to do, the maybe a little bit more difficult, and the ones you're not going to do at all. And work with it that way. So do the easy ones first, and then hit to the mid grade ones, and then go to the big dogs, the big, the hardcore ones, the ones that you said you would never be able to do, but because you work the steps up to the hard ones, it becomes easier. It's like the more you practice something, the easier it becomes.
Right.
So if you're starting with a little one, then the worst ones, the like I said, the heavy hitters become less intimidating at that time.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't thoroughly worked the step yet. It's a little further along than where I am at in my recovery right now, and it's okay.
You've
I'm a
been
slow.
making amends this whole time though.
Right. Like it's something I was going to say that. I mean, that's something that um, actions speak louder than words,
Mhm.
especially in my case personally. You not only do you have to walk the walk, you have to kind of talk the talk. They go hand in hand. And I know that no matter what, if I don't pick up and I continue to keep pushing forward and doing the next right thing, which I have been for almost 2 years, things are going to be okay. People are going to come back around. The ones that are meant to come back around are going to come back around, and the ones that aren't, they're not. And I have to accept that. Not overthinking things. I wrote down a few. You know, not overthinking things and moving on for me is hard, especially with people that I thought may come back around and haven't, especially from like my late teens, early 20s, people that I hung out with that were really, really good friends. Um, and when I started being a bigger dumbass than I am right now, and went to prison and did some dirt, they disappeared. Like they completely disappeared. It was Joe who. When I went to jail, when I went to prison, man, all the people that I thought were friends, poof, they were gone. I mean, they were gone, gone. No communication, no nothing
Yeah.
afterwards to this day. You know, 20 plus years later, nothing, crickets. I'll get an occasional like on Facebook. I'll get a little thumbs up on Facebook, like "Good job, Joe." And that's okay.
Well,
I have to
I
be
think
okay with that.
I think that comes down to relationships though and reason, season, lifetime as far as relationships go, Sometimes we're only meant to be in any kind of friendship, relationship, whatever for certain periods of our lives. And sometimes
Right,
people grow apart enough that after major things, like I know all the major incidences in my life, I call it shedding the dead skin. I've dropped off a lot of those people that have sided with the other party if there was an issue, or after a divorce, it becomes his family, my family kind of situation, and you really learn who your friends are in those
right.
particular cases.
Yeah. Tanya obviously relates. They popped up after I got out acting like friends. Yeah. I mean, like I had friends that like in childhood, I shouldn't say childhood, teenage, early 20s that I hung out with day in and day out. We were partners in crime, man. And when I got myself in trouble and started making some shitty choices in my life, they disappeared. They separated themselves from my chaos, which I can't blame them. Like back then, I was aggravated. I was pissed off. Like,
Yeah.
man, you've been my ride or die for this long, and I make one mistake, and bam, you're gone. You know what I mean? And that was just a choice they made. I didn't see it then. I see it now. I understand it. I get it. Some people just aren't down for the chaos and the ripping and running. And I feel like I was built for it. Like I enjoy the chaos. I enjoy the ripping and running.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. You guys have heard me share this all the time. I enjoyed it more than I did my drug of choice. Like the getting and wanting and using in any means and any lengths is what I strive for every day you know
Mhm.
um I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Getting high was just a bonus. The getting it and chasing it and dodging the police and carrying all kinds of illegal shit in my car and getting away with it and doing all the dirt and grime involved. I don't have to tell you guys any of this. You guys have probably done it, been there, and get it. You understand it. I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it. I loved walking around downtown Cincinnati, dodging the police in and out of alleys and doing crazy stuff. I mean, that's what I lived for. So, and some people just aren't about that. I am definitely not about that today. I'm too old for that shit. A little bit wiser, not much, but a little bit wiser. And it's progress, not perfection. That's why
Yeah.
these programs say that. It's we didn't become addicted in one day, so slow down, easy does it. All these things make sense. All of the cliche things make sense.
Mhm.
Um, the big thing with me was just being honest, especially when it comes to amends and admitting my fault. And I'll relate it back to my dad when my dad passed away. This was a huge admittance of fault on my end, because I didn't go to my father's funeral. For those that haven't heard this story, and it was something that was eating me alive. I was high. I was BSing my family of why I wasn't there, or what was going on with me. I had a ride lined up with Addy to take me, so like I didn't have an excuse of not being able to get there, other than I was still using and I didn't want to go. And I've been hard on myself because I didn't go to my father's funeral a couple years ago. This is just very recent. um, and I'm making a living amends, not only to my father, but to my family by just doing the right thing and continuing to push forward and stay clean because I know at the end of the day that's what everyone wants from me. They want to see me be successful. They want me clean and they want me to be Joe. They want to see a better version of Joe. They've seen a good version of Joe in earlier life, but they want to see a better Joe, even better Joe today. And
Right.
that's my living amends. It's easier said than done at
Well,
times, but that's where that actions speak louder than words.
yeah. And talking about living amends, I think that was one of the scariest parts was making amends. Was there certain people in my life that there's no way I can make contact with them again because It's too dangerous of a situation. And it says at the end of that step, we will make amends when possible, when it won't harm them or others. Well, we fall into that others category, if it
Right.
becomes a dangerous situation. So I like that you brought up living amends, because that's kind of the cool part, is that changing the way you do things to make that living amends, to do it every day. And another one I was worried about, like, my mom's gone, well, that, and both of
Mhm.
yours parents as
But not
well.
everyone
I'm
on here
like,
knows that.
how how do I how do I make amends to that? She's gone, And so my sponsor had me write letters to the people that I wanted to say something to but couldn't. So that way, I've shared before, you just need to write it down and get it out of your brain, and then I would share those letters with her, so that, they were still out in the open. But that
Right.
way, I'm making that amends. I'm noting that I did something wrong, and I'm saying this is what I'm doing to change that.
Yeah, I highly recommend journaling, writing things down. These are things that I don't like talking about feelings. I don't know about you guys. Um, Feelings can suck. You know, I say this all the time. A good friend of mine beats it down everyone's throat. Embrace the suck. You know, sometimes we have to go through the suck to heal and share open and honest with other people. You know, that's the beauty of the therapeutic value of one addict, one alcoholic, one person helping another, is we can help
Mhm,
one another through our lived experience and heal. And that's where the true healing begins. You know,
mhm,
Tanya said journaling, it definitely helps. Bam, right there. And I mean, it definitely does help. I journal pretty faithfully almost every single day. I have notebooks upon
mhm,
notebooks of journals, or I just write my thoughts and feelings down for the day. And it doesn't necessarily have to be you giving in an amends or admitting anything,
mhm.
just what's going on with you for that day, you know? And you can go back to it a week later and be like, damn, on Tuesday, I was fucked up. Like, man, what was going through my head? You know what I mean? Like, that's how we learn. That's how we strive to push on and to get better and to be better people and not make, you know, if we made a mistake that day, we can go back and look on it. You know, that's why the inventory, the nightly, daily inventories are so important. Um,
Mhm.
you know, it does. There you go. And not only Tanya's dead on, and not only does it provoke it, sometimes it, you know, it does provoke, prevent,
Mhm.
it may prevent us or slow us down or stop us from
Well, you
making a
can
really horrible choice, a bad decision. It might stop us
you
from
can see
picking
the
up.
patterns, though. You can, when you start to do that and start to write things down, you can then start to see the patterns, and understand why you were doing those certain things. You know what I mean?
Right. Heather don't like to read or write. Well, you know, like you said, at least you're being honest. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I hated it. I hate it. Not only did I have a phobia of speaking in front of other people, going live and doing what I'm doing now, I hated writing too. I didn't like writing. I didn't like writing all that stuff down.
Now we have
And
voice
I've
text,
got
though, so I can talk to my phone and I can just say what I want to say, even though it
you,
doesn't
you
listen.
talk to
My phone,
yourself.
my phone is a man for sure, because it doesn't listen to what I say when I hit that.
Oh,
Um,
look out. So you talk to yourself all the time. What are you talking about, weirdo?
I do talk to myself all the time.
I know, I do too. It's when you start
Um,
answering yourself and talking back to yourself when it's
oh,
scary.
I do that too. I'm certifiably crazy. We both know that. I think something else, though, it's going back to talking in part of the reading. It was talking about understanding where people are if they're not going to accept your amends. Having to understand what I have control of and what I don't have control of. I only have control of my actions and my reactions. So as long as what I'm saying is genuine and honest and good and true to myself, I say that to somebody, I have no control how they're
Right.
going to respond and what they're going to do. So that's kind of, it was something else I had to come to terms with, was that lack of control. I can't say, "Hey Joe, I'm really sorry for calling you a dick the other day." I can say that because I'm sorry, but I have no control how you're going to take it. You could take it and be like, "Oh, cool, thanks," or you could be like, "Well, you're a bitch." You know, I've got no control over how you're going to react to what I said because you're going to
Right.
come from whatever place you're coming from. So having that understanding and being able to let go of that control and give it to my higher power so that I'm not
Yeah.
trying to control that situation, you know?
Well, and I think that's why it says in the reading, like you're clearing your side of the street. You got to clear your side of the street and realizing that we've done our part. We've made the amends to the best of our abilities, and people are going to accept them or they're not. If they accept them or they're in turmoil and they're still on the fence, we have to allow that time. You know, things like this heal a lot of times in due time. Like it takes time for people to heal and people to forgive, and we have to realize that not everyone's just going to be like, oh, thank God, Joe, you're clean and you're saying you're sorry, you're forgiven. I wish it was that easy, and it's not. um and I too, I'm reading in the chat, like Tanya brought up, I'm struggling right now with making amends to myself. Well,
Mhm.
that's why I talked about the story about my dad, because that's
Mhm.
not only a living amends to my family and to my father, but that's something I struggle with personally myself. So, like, I have to eat my own words and say, Joe, quit pumping quarters in that ass kicking machine,
Mhm.
and give myself a break because I'm hard on myself. I'm my own
Yeah.
worst critic, I'm my own worst enemy. I can pour me myself to death. And I too, Heather, am a people pleaser. I am a people pleaser myself, and it can be draining and drowning because I'm a perfectionist and I
Boundaries
want
and
every
detachment.
right, yeah, and I mean I want everyone to like me, and not everyone's gonna like me.
Well,
I'm a certain taste.
you are coming to terms that other people's opinions of me are none of my business was a
Right.
big deal for that. If nobody, not everybody's gonna like me. Like you said, I'm an acquired taste. Some people think I'm a complete whack job and don't want anything
Well,
to do with me.
they're
Shut up,
not.
Joseph.
That's not far from the truth. I
It's
mean,
not. It's true. But people. I'm a blunt person, and some people don't find that endearing like others do. So I can rub people the wrong way sometimes. But even in those instances, rubbing somebody the wrong way doesn't mean I owe them an amends. Because as long as
right.
I'm coming from a place of honesty and not being mean, then I can't control how they take it. If they take it the wrong way, then that's not my problem. That's a you problem, not a me problem.
I love this, and I'll let you comment on this because I hear you share this a lot in Al-Anon meetings. Um, share on that because that's powerful.
That I need to learn that no is a complete sentence. Yes, no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anybody an explanation for anything. No, you like we make up white lies because we can't go do something. We're like, oh, I can't go out with you tonight because I gotta shampoo the carpet and wash my cat and whatever, whatever, whatever. And it doesn't matter. Like if you don't want to go out that night, you just say no, and you don't have
Yeah,
to come up with 15 different reasons why you don't want to. Just not wanting to is a good enough reason.
yeah.
You
I
know.
mean, how many times have you guys been like calling off work and writing an email to your boss or writing a text message to a friend, making up an excuse of why you're not going to come to work or why you're not going to go to a certain function or something,
Mhm.
and you find yourself typing out this big ass long elaborate story, when you could
Yeah.
just not overthink it and keep it simple and just say, look, I don't feel good, I'm not going. Just
Mhm.
don't overthink it, don't put too much thought into it. Like I find myself doing that. Like I took time off work today and I just kept it simple. Like I have paid time off, so I went to the functions that I needed to go to. I showed up. I participated today, but after the fact, I still didn't feel well. So, like, it's this simple. Hey, I've got some
Well,
PTO time and I'm not feeling well. I'm going home and resting and self care.
mhm.
I'm going to take care of me.
It's
Because if
that
I don't take
mindset.
care of yeah, I mean, if I don't take
Yeah.
care of myself and I don't practice self care, I'm fucked. I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, I can't
It's that
overdo it.
mind shift, that like when you were in active addiction, you came up with all these stupid stories and all these stupid lies of why you couldn't do this or that or the other. And then you
All the
have to
time.
remember that stuff. I mean, I've been on the other side of it where, you're hearing the line of bullshit and you can be like, bullshit, 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 bullshit. If you just were flat out honest with me in the first place, it wouldn't be a big deal. But it's so it comes down to that being able to rewire your brain and not have to come up with all these excuses and remember that you told Sally that you couldn't go because of this and you told Rachel that you couldn't go because of this. But then your stories get, it's way simpler to just say no and mean it.
It's so much easier just to tell
And
the truth and just be
it
done
is.
with it.
It's just and and saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that person, I mean, if that person's angry because you said no, again, that's a them problem, not a you problem.
That's on them. Yeah.
That's their reaction. That's their problem. As long as you're being true to yourself, then you can say no and mean it. And see, I was such a people pleaser back in the day. I'd say yes to all kinds of things and then be miserable in the situation because I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to volunteer my time for that particular organization or whatever. And so now I can say no when I mean no, and I can say yes when I mean yes and enjoy those times that I actually wanted to go volunteer or wanted to do service work or, that kind of situation.
Yeah, you don't want to do something or participate in something that's feeling how am I wanting to say it? Like you're uneasy. You don't want to be there. You're not giving it your 100%. Heather is stealing my thunder right now because I was just getting ready to say this, and
Mhm.
she's 100% right. It says I just don't like letting people down, which is true. But I've got to keep me first. You all are so right, and I was just gonna say that. Like,
Mhm.
if we don't keep ourselves first and our recovery first, we're going to lose the things that we love and care about again. How many times have we done this? I've done it many times. It took me
Yeah.
9 tries to finally get my head out of my ass because I was a people pleaser. And I still am, but I'm not nearly as bad as what I used to be. I can put Joe first today. I can listen to my body. I can say no today. And I'm okay with that. It's easier said than done. I get it, especially when it comes to a loved one. If it's a boyfriend, if it's a girlfriend, if it's a
Oh, he
direct
says no
family
to me
member.
all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Addie and I, that's one of the reasons why our relationship works really well because
Mhm.
we both work separate programs. She works her program, I work our program. Both programs literally teach the same thing in a different way, but in a roundabout way. They're pretty spot on.
Mhm.
And when it comes to boundaries and being open and honest with one another, like honesty is the key. If Addie wants me to go to the grocery store or to do something and I tell her no, it's the end of the discussion. Like there's no argument, there's no why, there's no argument. It's just that simple. Like I wish everyone's relationship could be that
Mhm.
simple when it comes to that, but I know it's not. This is real life and not everyone is intelligent and uh, amazing minded as us addicts and alcoholics are when it comes to that. So, like, we get it when a normie may not get it if you're in a relationship or if you're dealing with a family member that may be a normie that just doesn't necessarily understand that.
Well, we've shared the story before. We shared the story when we were live on the Q&A, I think, about the first time that you went to a bar when we went to go hear a friend play the live music.
Yeah.
We had a conversation prior to that.
We had a
So
plan.
that so that we were both had the same expectations. Neither one of us was on a different page. We were both very with it. We knew this was the plan, but if the plan wasn't going to work, we had those escape strategies planned and we knew we had a conversation. We talked about it so that, neither one of us were mad at the other one
Yeah.
or
And
hurt,
this,
you
this
know.
And this doesn't have anything to do with amends, but this has everything to do with keeping ourselves safe
Well, but it
because of
does have
you.
it's the prevention of, you
Right,
know,
right. And
having to make an amends.
where I was going at with it is like that was a holiday. I think was that around Christmas time? When was that?
I don't
I can't
remember.
remember. But
Yeah, it
regardless,
had
the point
something like that.
the point was, having a plan. Like if like Addie and I are planning on going to a concert. Jewel is playing in Cincinnati, I think next month. Like it's right around the
June
corner.
sometime, yeah.
June, July. I love live music. You got anyone that knows me knows I love music. I like music a lot heavier than Jewel, but I enjoy Jewel. Like I'm more Slipknot and that kind of music. But I enjoy Jewel, and I think Blues Traveler is going to be there. It's going to be a cool concert. Um, but Jewel and Blues Traveler bring the hippie crowd. See, I told you our cat would live bomb us.
Oh, she's been
Um,
she's been here
I know. I
already.
seen her on your shoulder. But like,
Mhm.
they bring the hippie crowd. Well, we all know what hippies do. You know what I mean? So like there's gonna be alcohol, there's gonna be weed there, like there's gonna be drugs. You know what I mean? Like, and I have to have a game plan, an exit strategy per se, in case I feel uncomfortable. And like Addie and we'll have that in place. Like at any time I'm at this concert and I feel uncomfortable or I feel triggered, there's going to be an exit strategy to keep my ass safe. You know what I mean? Like, trust me. This is something that we've discussed, and it's something that I think everyone should discuss if you ever decide to go into a situation or put yourself in a position where you think you may have that possibility. And that really happens a lot around holidays with families, funerals, parties, etc. For me, I don't go. Like I just don't put myself in these situations. Um,
When I
but I'm
was
being
with
honest.
my late husband, we would always take separate cars so that if I was ready to go and he wasn't, I could go home. And,
Right.
I wasn't concerned about how I was going to get there. So,
Well, I think at a Jewel Blues Travelers concert, I'll be okay. But
mhm.
we're still going to have a strategy in place just in case. Totally way off topic, nothing to do with making amends. But I still think it's important, so I'm talking about it. For those
I
that
can't
may be
see
on
my
the
notes.
fence,
Yeah, I can't see my notes now because there's a cat on top of my notebook.
is she laying on
So
your notebook?
she's straight laying on my notebook.
Well, we're pretty much finished. I'm in here burning up. Like I said, guys, I haven't been feeling good. I'm sticky. I'm hot. I'm sweaty. Um, I don't want to say I'm fevery because I don't feel. I don't know. You guys can see it in my hair. Like I'm not feeling good. My face is red. I'm gonna hop off here. I appreciate you guys jumping on tonight, not only participating in Addie and I's recovery, but your own recovery. I love each and every one of you guys. Lisa, I seen you just pop on. Welcome. If you missed the stream or missed parts of it, it will be live, uh, uploaded on YouTube and on our Facebook channel. Um, as soon as we get off here, it'll be there. Love each and every one of you
All
guys.
right. Rock stars, go be awesome.
You're all rock stars. Go be awesome. You heard Addie. Keep that attitude of gratitude, guys. We love each and every one of you guys. Remain positive. And definitely, you guys know I say this all the time, remain vigilant in your recovery. I love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.